They say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Well, not this time. I'm your host, Ally Langan, and this is According to Ally. So, we gotta start off with how I met Mr. Staten Island Man. So, our families both used to go to the Ritz-Carlton in St. Thomas every single year for Easter. So, one year we were all there, and I have a younger brother. And my brother was in the pool, and another kid came up to him and put my brother in a headlock. And I was panicking. Obviously, my brother was panicking. We're like, what the hell is going on? I'm screaming, he's screaming. And this guy comes out of nowhere around our age and yanks this kid off my brother, like beats him up. And I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. My brother winds up becoming friends with the kid. Turns out this kid, Mr. Staten Island Man, has a younger sister that I wind up becoming friends with too. And the four of us all play basketball. So we all bonded over a mutual love for basketball. They actually had a basketball court at the Ritz, like outside. It was just literally like a net and a hoop on like asphalt, like nothing crazy. And we'd all hang out and go play basketball down there. So we wind up becoming friends. Our families wind up becoming friends. They actually came to our beach club over the summer. I live in New Jersey. I'm from Monmouth County. And they would come down and go to our beach club in the summer. So we've all known each other for a pretty long time, since like middle school. So I've known Mr. Staten Island Man since I've been like 12. So obviously some years went by. We went to college. I went to college, I got my MBA, and then I was in law school. I believe he played basketball in college. I believe he played basketball. But some years go by, whatever. And so one day I noticed on Instagram that he follows me again, which I thought was strange because I thought he was already following me from like years prior. I'm literally talking like 2010, 2011, 2012, like that time period. Because his sister had been following me the whole time. And I was like, huh, that's weird. He just refollowed me. And it was actually the day of my grandmother's funeral. And I was in a black dress and he DM'd me gorgeous. And I was like, oh, okay, so he must be interested in me. So I was like, huh, that's weird. Come to later find out from him that his sister, who had been following me, was scrolling on her Instagram, and I came up on her feed one day, and he asked her, he's like, oh, who is that? And she was like, oh, like, do you remember the Langans, like Ally Langan, like Stephen Langan? And he was like, oh, yeah, I remember them. She goes, oh, well, the sister actually does influencing now. So that's how this all kind of came about with him refollowing me. According to him, that's his version of events. Who knows what actually happened, but that's what he told me. So it's August 12th. He DM'd me that gorgeous DM, right? So he starts asking me how my weekend was, like what I've been up to. So we chat a little bit and I give him my number. Usually I don't give out my number, but because this is someone I've known for a long time, I was like, okay, I'll give him my number. I felt comfortable giving him my number, right? Which, again, like I said, it's not something I usually do. So I gave him my number. We start texting. Things progress. And I had mentioned to him how I was going to be appearing on a podcast. So the podcast I was going on was the Just a Guy podcast in Staten Island. And they film over in the Stapleton area. And he had told me, he goes, well, Stapleton isn't really a great area. I would rather that I drive you there. And I was like, why? And he's like, it's just not a good area. You don't want to drive there by yourself. I'm like, okay. I took his word for it. I'm not from Staten Island. Remember, I'm from Monmouth County. So I was like, all right, okay, sounds good. So the day I was filming the podcast, it was like torrential downpour raining. He comes to pick me up from my mom's house. And it was like a scene out of a movie. He comes up to my front door with an umbrella for me. He didn't want me to get like wet from the rain. He says hi to my mom. And then he holds an umbrella for me, walks me to his car, made sure I didn't get like wet from the rain. That's like every girl's dream, right? So he's setting it up like he's literally like some dream guy, right? I'm like, wow. He's like walking me to the car. There's an umbrella. He doesn't want me to get wet from the rain. Trying to be like a romance novel, right? So setting the scene for you guys. So he drove an hour from Staten Island to get me. Then he drove back to Staten Island because that's where I was filming the podcast. And he said to me, he's like, I'm going to wait outside till you're done filming and then we'll go. I said, okay. So I get done with filming. I'm like super happy. I'm like, wow, I think I did really great. We get in the car and he drives us to Brooklyn, to this pizza spot in Brooklyn where they have like square slices. We sit down, we're eating the pizza at this pizza spot. The conversation was really great. And I'm like, all right, like maybe this could turn into something, right? Like who knows? So our first official date, after that, he drives me home to my mom's. But our first official date was at Gabriella's. So Gabriella's is right around the corner from my mom's in my hometown. He shows up to my mom's house with this giant bouquet of roses, giant bouquet of sunflowers, like huge, like literally giant, like this, like huge. The biggest bouquets I've ever seen in my life. Shows up with that and shows up with a bottle of wine for my mom. He had asked me what wine my mom liked, so I told him. So he shows up with that, and I'm like, wow, this is like every girl's dream guy. Like, first he picks me up with an umbrella, now he's bringing bouquets, and he's getting my mom a bottle of wine. Wow, this is like every girl's dream, right? So I thought. So we go on the date, and everything seems to be going well, and he brings up to me that he had actually had a fiance. I said, oh, like, how long ago was that? He tells me that they broke it off mutually in June of 2024, okay? So I'm like, okay, all right. That he's been on a few dates, but he didn't really find anyone special. That's what he tells me. So he brings up the idea about potentially this Vegas trip. He's like, oh, it's for my friend's birthday. Like, I kind of want you to come. And I'm like, all right, I'll think about it. Like, it's a little soon for me to just like go to Vegas with you, you know? And he invites me to his sister's birthday dinner, which was out in Long Island. I'm like, all right, that I'll agree to. Known you and your sister for a long time, and it's in Long Island. It's a little bit more local, right? So I agree that I'll go to his sister's birthday dinner. So we went on a few more dates, nothing too crazy. We went to Dear Maud, we went to Flower in Hoboken, and then the one date he took me on, I went to his apartment too in Staten Island. I went out that way. So the one date he takes me on, which was, I've never done this before, is we went to a Pew Pew Range, if you're catching my drift. And I've never done anything like that, so I don't really like know what to wear. So I wear this like tank top, and the casings from the Pew Pew are so hot, 'cause it's like hot brass. It actually went down my top 3 different times and like burnt my chest. And I still have a little mark from it, so I have to put like bio oil on it like every night. Not fun stuff. I didn't know that, obviously, because I've never shot a Pew Pew before. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, that was a really fun experience. So I burned myself 3 times in the chest, right? I'm like, okay, whatever. So after, on the Dear Maud date, he had brought it up to me again about the Vegas thing. So I agree. I'm like, all right, you know, I'll come on this Vegas trip. Like, why not? I've never been to Vegas. We've gone on a few dates. You know, it seems all right. I've also known him for a long time. So I agree to go on this Vegas trip. He had been kind of like begging me, like every date we went on, he was kind of like begging me to go on this Vegas trip. But he really, at the Dear Maud date, was like, I really want you to come to Vegas. And I'm like, all right. So he agrees. He purchases my flight. They already had the room. And then his friend who was coming, the girl that he brought, was like, you know what, I really would like if we have separate rooms. So they had their own separate room. We have our own separate room. I'm like, okay, cool. So a week before we go, I noticed that his sister unfollowed me on Instagram. So I bring it up to him and I'm like, like, this is kind of weird. Like, why'd your sister unfollow me on Instagram? He's like, oh, no. She's just like having this mental health thing. She's going to be taking a social media break. I'm like, well, her account's still up. It looks like she just removed me as a follower. Like, she's totally removed me as a follower. I'm like, wow, this is kind of weird timing because we're going to Vegas the next week. I'm sure she probably knows her brother's going to Vegas with me, so that's a little weird. But he tells me that this happens all the time, that she's just having this like mental health thing. So again, I believe him because I've known him for so long. I'm like, all right. And I don't really question it too much further. I'm like, okay. So the morning of the Vegas trip comes. In the morning, I dog walk, and then I get in my car in Hoboken, and I drive to his apartment in Staten Island. I park my car, I get out. His dad actually drives us to the airport, so it's me, him, his friend, and then the girl that his friend brought. So the 4 of us. So it's Staten Island man, his friend, and then, yeah, so 4 of us are all in the car. His dad was, like, pretty nice. Dropped us off at the airport, which is, again, very nice of him. So we get to the airport, right? And our flight was supposed to take off at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We were delayed for 12 hours at Newark Liberty Airport. It was the worst start to a trip I have ever had in my entire life. We're sitting in Newark Liberty. We get on the plane. There's like bad weather. There's thunderstorms and stuff. We get on the plane. His one friend took something to help him sleep. And he wakes up. He's like, oh, are we almost to Vegas? I go, no, we're still on the ground at Newark Liberty. So we had to deplane, okay, because the flight attendants like timed out. So we had to deplane. We get off the plane. Then they have 3 flight attendants. They need a 4th one. And she was coming from Terminal C on the Airbus or whatever. And they were like, no, she can't take the Airbus because they're worried lightning's going to strike the Airbus. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, am I in a fever dream? Like, am I literally in a fever dream right now? So finally, the flight attendant makes it over from Terminal C unharmed. Thank God she didn't get struck by lightning. It's like the last thing any of us needed. So she gets there, and finally we take off from Newark Liberty Airport. It was like 3 or 4 in the morning Eastern Standard Time. I want to say it was 4 or 5 actually in the morning because it was like full 12 hours later. We finally take off. We're in the sky. I fall asleep. I'm exhausted. I also almost had a panic attack in that airport. That was horrible. Like, I can't even begin to tell you. So, fall asleep, we get to Vegas, and now it's like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Vegas time. So now we're on Pacific Standard Time. So I am so like jet lagged and screwed up from the time difference. I'm like a zombie from The Walking Dead. I could have been an extra on The Walking Dead with how tired I was. I was exhausted. I was completely out of it. So we get to the link. That's where we were staying. We check in. We go up to the room. I take a shower. I'm out cold. Out cold on the mattress, right? I'm exhausted. So we all wake up the next day, and he starts talking about this mall. He's like, we gotta go to this mall. It has like every designer brand you can think of. It's like Short Hills Mall on crack. Like, we gotta go. And I'm like, all right. Like, we'll go to the mall. And he keeps talking about Chrome Hearts. He's like, we need to go to Chrome Hearts. I'm like, all right, fine. Like, we'll go to Chrome Hearts, okay? So we get to this mall, and there's an aquarium in this mall. So we're walking around, and I notice the aquarium, and I'm like, immediately like mesmerized. I'm like, oh my God, I'm looking at all the fish. I think it's so cool. I see like the stingrays. Yes, I know they're Steve Irwin's ops, but I still love stingrays. I see the stingrays. I'm just like mesmerized with the aquarium. And he's like, let's go into Fat Tuesdays. We go into Fat Tuesdays, and we get these drinks, and they're like huge. They're like double the size of this. They're giant. They're probably like this big. So we get these drinks, and they felt nice because they were cold. Even though the mall was cold, it was like 95 degrees outside because we're in Vegas. So we get the drinks, and we're having a great time. We're walking around the mall. So he's like, we got to go to Chrome Hearts. We got to go to Chrome Hearts. So we go into Chrome Hearts. Staten Island Man and I go into Chrome Hearts together. And he's trying on everything in the store, like excessively. Like, probably tried on 45 different items. Like eyeglasses, sunglasses, hoodies, like you name it, this man tried it on. And every single thing he tried on, he needed to ask me my opinion on. He tried on, he'd be like, Allie, what do you think of this? Allie, what do you think of that? Allie, what do you think of this? I felt like I had a child and was like, Mom, look at this. Mom, look at that. Mom, look at this. It was so overstimulating. I was like, okay, like this is a lot. Like, I'm on vacation. I'm trying to relax. Like, I don't want to play stylist with you in the Chrome Heart store. Like, I'm good. I'm not being paid for this. Like, I'm okay. Weird. So keep in mind, my birthday was also in 2 weeks. So he was trying out a bunch of stuff. And at one point, I just get kind of bored. I'm like, I don't need to stand here and be your validation for every single thing you try on. This is annoying. So I walk over to the rings. I tend to love wearing rings. I don't have any on right now, but I usually have 3 rings on this hand and 2 on this hand. So I go over, and every designer, the sizing's different for rings. So I try on this ring, and I'm like, okay, cool, good to know. Like, I'm a size 6 in Chrome Hearts. And he like sees that I'm trying on this ring. So he comes over, and he's like, well, how much is that ring? I'm like, I don't know, like, I think it was like $400. It was like $475. I think it was around that. And he's like, okay, well, do you want that, or do you want the Cartier D'Amour bracelet for your birthday, which is the one I have on my left wrist. It's very lightweight. I actually really like it. And I'm like, well, you know, I probably would prefer the Cartier D'Amour bracelet. And he's like, oh, okay, good to know. Walks away. Proceeds to spend $1,400 on himself in the Chrome Heart store right in front of me. Now, I can understand if you want to spend $1,400 on yourself. To spend $1,400 on yourself in front of a girl you're talking to is really classless and rude, especially when her birthday's in 2 weeks. Yeah, probably not a good move, my guy. So he does that, and I was annoyed, but I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna like pick a fight over this. Like, we have a long trip, we're here for 2 more days, I'm not gonna pick a fight over something like this. But it was very telling about his character. So we go to Joe's Stone Crab for lunch, and we were about to go in, and the guy at the front, I start talking to him. He's like an older gentleman, and he actually gave me his card for Joe's Stone Crab because like he really liked me. He's like, you're very personable. Anytime you're back in Vegas, please feel free to call me to get a reservation here. Like, I'll let you cut the line. I was like, wow, that's actually really nice. So Staten Island man sees this, and he's like, oh, I want a card too. Bro, he didn't want to give you a card. He's like, okay, like gives him a card. He was kind of like weirded out. Whatever. We go into Joe's Stone Crab, everything's fine. We were pretty jet lagged after, so we all go back to the room and take naps. So we get up, because that night we were planning on going to Omnia. So Omnia is a nightclub. It's right across the street from the Link. So I was super excited. You know, it's Vegas. You want to wear like sparkles and sequins. It's loud, it's fun, like, and it's my first time in Vegas. So I was like, I brought this sparkly sequin. It's like a red, pink, strapless dress. And I'm like so excited to wear it. I'm like, wow, I feel like this is gonna look really good. I'm like all hyped, right? A little drink break. I'm all hyped to wear it. So I get up, I start getting ready, and I felt like so hot in this dress. I'm doing my hair, curling my hair, I teased my hair, it looked amazing. And as I'm getting ready, he's hovering over me like the Grim Reaper, like this. Or like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, like this, like hovering over me. I don't know about you guys watching, but personally, I don't like when people hover over me when I'm getting ready to go out. It is very anxiety inducing for me. I don't like it. I also don't like people rushing me when I'm getting ready to go out. Those two things in me do not mix. So he's like hovering over me, and I'm kind of just like, okay then. So at one point, he decides to add in this really creepy stare. So he stared at me like this. Like that. Okay? And he's staring at me like that. And he goes to me, you're so confident. Never lose that confidence. What? Excuse me? I was like, what? And he's like, never lose your confidence. Like, you're just a confident person. Okay, whatever. It's the way he said it, though. It made the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. I was so weirded out by it. I was like, ooh, like it just was like in a way that was almost like envious and very foreshadowing of the night to come. So I'm like, okay, that's probably not a great sign. So we leave from the Link. We all meet down the lobby. We walk over from the Link across the street. I think we went to Caesars. I'm pretty sure it was Caesars. And we got some little bites at this like little restaurant. And then we walk over to the nightclub. So we're in line for the nightclub, and we get up for them to check our IDs. And the girl that his friend brought, her ID was from Dominican Republic. So they're like, well, I'm sorry, you need to come back with a different form of ID, like a passport or something. Like, we don't accept non-US licenses. Which, okay, fair. So they decided to walk back to their room and go get her passport. So me and Staten Island man go in. It's just us two. So we walk into this nightclub, and it's huge. I don't know if you've ever been to Omnia, but it's a huge nightclub. We walk in, there's this giant chandelier. It was incredible. And I'm just like, wow, this place is amazing. So we walk in, he gets a glass of Prosecco. Now, these glasses of Prosecco were about like the size of my iPhone. Like, they were pretty small. So he gets a glass of Prosecco. So I was just like, you know what? I'll get the same thing, right? Why not? So I also get a glass of Prosecco. So they tell us that there's actually a rooftop. So we take some pictures downstairs. Also, while he's taking pictures of me, he looks visibly pissed off. I'm like, I don't get why you're pissed. I'm a girl in Vegas. Obviously, I'm going to ask you to take pictures of me. Like, that's just like science, I fear. Like, what? So I have him take some pictures of me. He's like pissed off. We go upstairs and we're on the rooftop and I have him take some more pictures of me. You could just tell he's pissed off and doesn't care. Like the way he was taking the pictures, like his thumb was literally in the pictures, like in the bottom of them. And he's like holding the phone like this and like tilting it. I'm like, okay, you might not give a shit, but I give a shit about my pictures, all right? Like I give a shit, okay? I do influencing, so I do care. Sorry that you don't. And it was just like weird. He was just being like, the whole time. So finally his friends get there and I'm like, oh, thank God. So they get on to the rooftop with us. They come up. We're all like talking, hanging out. And they're playing music. So I start like dancing. I'm having a great time. I'm like smiling. And I like kind of grab him. I'm like, oh my God, like come dance with me. Like, why don't you come dance with me? And he's like, like not really into it. And then at one point, I see him literally all leaning on the bar like this, okay? And he's hitting his vape and he's like blowing the smoke and like his head is like on a swivel. He's looking around like this, right? With his vape. I'm like, okay. So I go up to him and I go, hey, like, is everything okay? And he goes, well, you know, I'm always on guard. You know, I'm always on guard. What? What do you mean you're always on guard? There's 6 bouncers downstairs, triple the size of you. You are barely 6 feet tall. What are you on guard for? What are you on guard for? There's 6 bouncers literally triple the size of you downstairs. Like, what are you possibly on guard for? Like, what? So I'm like, okay. So then I walk away and I just keep dancing because I'm like, I'm not letting his weird behavior ruin my night. Like, that's just not happening, I fear. So I try to get him to come dance with me again. He's like, no, just like leaning up against the bar. I'm like, I guess you're too cool to dance. Okay, you can go stand over there. I really don't care. So then I finally go up to him again. I go, hey, is everything okay? And then finally he goes, well, there is something that's bothering me. I go, okay, well, what's bothering you? Then he goes to me, I feel like you're always on guard. You feel like I'm always on guard? What? What are you talking about? I literally said to him, I'm like, well, I don't understand why you're saying that because I'm in Vegas right now with you and agreed to come on this trip. What are you talking about? I'm always on guard. And I said to him, I'm like, we could have discussed this so many other times, like in Hoboken or, you know, the 12 hours we were delayed at the airport or at your apartment. Why does this need to be discussion right now when we're on the Omnia rooftop drinking? Like that made no sense to me. And I said that to him. I'm like, I don't get why this needs to be discussed right now. And he's like, kept insisting that he wanted to discuss it. I'm like, no, like, we can discuss this at a different time. This does not need to be discussed right now. He's just like egging me on. And at one point, his friend sees that he's basically screaming at me. And he's like, you're always on guard. Like, you don't understand. Like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what the hell? He's like, you need to let your guard down around me. I'm like, what? He's literally demanding that I let my guard down around him. My guard was pretty much down. I'm on a Vegas rooftop drinking. I'm sorry, I don't need to be like you and sit there and vape and try to act all cool. You look like an idiot. You look like an idiot. Like, I'm sorry, objectively speaking, if I was a random person in the club and saw you, you look stupid, okay? So, whatever. His friend comes over and his friend's like, pretty much drags him away to the bathroom. He's like, listen, like, we gotta go to the bathroom. Like, so he goes off with his friend to the bathroom and I'm left with the girl that his friend brought. And we start talking and I just explained to her, I'm like, yeah, like he was just demanding that I need to let my guard down around him, which I just didn't understand because my guard's pretty much down. We're on a Vegas rooftop drinking. Weird. So he comes back over after they go to the bathroom and we're all kind of just like looking at each other and it's really awkward because he has now created a scene. So his friend goes, well, it's 12:50 and Loud Luxury is coming on at 1 a.m. We should probably head downstairs. I'm like, you know what? Great idea. So we're going downstairs to Loud Luxury and I'm not saying anything to him. We get downstairs to Loud Luxury and I'm like dancing. I'm having a great time. Loud Luxury comes on. I am like ear to ear grinning, smiling, dancing. I look great. I'm having so much fun, right? And he proceeds to try to argue with me again. I'm like, you have to be kidding me. He's like, he's like, oh, we need to talk about this right now. I want to talk about this right now. I go, no, we can discuss this tomorrow. I do not want to engage with you right now. He's like, keeps talking. Clearly it does not register to him whatever I'm saying. I go, I'm not engaging with you. I'm not engaging with you. I'm not engaging with you. And I wasn't mean. I said it in the same tone I just said it right now. I was not yelling, nothing. We are in a loud nightclub. There's strobe lights everywhere. It's dark. Literally the bass is like, oonce, oonce, oonce. I can barely hear anything as it is. I'm not having some type of serious conversation with you at Omnia nightclub in Vegas. Like, let's be for real. It's not the time or the place. It was the time and the place to have fun, but apparently he's allergic to that too. Whatever. So he's getting like frustrated that I was not, giving into what he was saying. And also what I didn't understand, getting back to the original argument on the rooftop, is he told me that he was okay with taking things slow. He had told me that in the beginning because he wanted to date me right away. He like wanted me to be his girlfriend, and I said no. I said I like to take my time getting to know people. I don't just agree off the bat to be somebody's girlfriend. I like to go on a few dates, get to know you, take my time with it. Okay? I don't like to just jump in, 2 feet first. That's not how I do life. So he was like, yeah, I'm okay with taking things slow. Then he's asking me to let my guard down around him. So he's directly contradicting himself. Like, what? I can't. It was so stupid. So then we're in the nightclub, right, downstairs, listening to Loud Luxury, and I refuse to argue with him at this point, right? I just go quiet. I had no facial expression. I'm just like dancing. I don't say a word. So he's standing like right next to me. All of a sudden, I see him like storm off. He's like this. He's like storms out of the nightclub. Like this. Like a literal angry elf, okay? Like storming out of the nightclub. I'm like, how old are you? Like, ew. So then his friend looks at me and the girl he brought, and he's like, what'd you say to him? I'm like, I swear to God, I didn't say anything. He's like, no, I actually believe you. He's like, I'm actually on your side. He's like, you've been pretty calm this whole night. He's like, he's acting erratic. I'm like, yeah, I know he's acting erratic. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. Like, I'm just trying to have fun, and he's trying to start a whole argument and have some deep conversation with me at a nightclub. You know what doesn't mix? Deep conversations and nightclubs. Those are two things that don't mix, okay? That's why I wanted to have the conversation at a different time, like a normal person, like any normal, reasonable person would want to, okay? So he walks outside the nightclub, okay? And he calls his friend, and now I'm standing right next to his friend, and he calls his friend, and he's on the phone with his friend like this, and his friend goes, an ambulance? What do you mean an ambulance? Okay? I can hear the conversation, right? So I'm now annoyed because now I know I'm probably gonna have to leave the nightclub with them, and all I want to do was listen to Loud Luxury. So we all look at each other, and the girl like kind of grabs him by the arm, like not in an aggressive way, like a nice way. And she's like, hey, like Vegas, it's the trafficking capital of the world. You're a really pretty girl. I don't want you to be here by yourself. Like, it would make me nervous, which kudos to her for this. She's like, I think we should just like leave with them. She's like, I know you're upset. I know you really want to see Loud Luxury. And I really appreciate her saying that because like I really did want to just enjoy Loud Luxury, and I couldn't because of him having a literal toddler temper tantrum. He had a toddler temper tantrum. It is so unattractive to me to watch a grown man have a temper tantrum. Immediate turn off, okay? So I'm like, all right, fine. Like, I agree with them. Like, the reasonable person I am, I'm like, all right, I'll leave the nightclub. Like, all right. So I'm disappointed because obviously I want to see Loud Luxury. And as I'm walking outside the nightclub, he sends me like the craziest text. He's like, oh, hey, like, enjoy your night. I'll literally like read it to you guys. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. Ready for this? He goes, this is literally when we were in the club. Ally, I'm sorry you're upset or feeling closed off. Hope you have a good night. Hope you have fun. And like everything was like misspelled. That's how I know that man was like clearly not sober. Let me take a little water break. So I walk outside the club with his friends. Okay. We walk out at the Omnia. This man is cross-eyed outside the club. Cross-eyed like this. Cross-eyed outside the club. Posted up like this. I'm like, you have to be kidding me. I just missed seeing Loud Luxury to see this cross-eyed man outside the club. You have to be kidding me. So the three of us, me, his friend, and the girl he brought, we all kind of Spider-Man meme look at each other like, what the fuck? So as I'm walking out of the club, he proceeds to try to argue with me again. I'm like, you have to be kidding me. He tried to argue with me twice, mind you, inside the club, and now I'm leaving the club, and now again, you're trying to argue with me? Like, you cannot be for real right now. Like, honestly. So I just say to him, I go, I'm not engaging with you. Just like this. I put my hand out. I go, I'm not engaging with you. He spins around, does a 180, and starts walking 10 miles in front of everybody. Could not give a fuck about me, could not give a fuck about his friend, and could not give a fuck about the girl that his friend brought. Okay? Walking 10 miles ahead of everybody, doesn't care. So we were walking back across the street to the link, and this random guy was like passing by us, sees that he's walking way ahead of us, comes up to me, and he's like, hey, like, is that your boyfriend up there? I go, oh my God, thank God, no. And he's like, wow, you're like really gorgeous. Like, I'm sorry you have to deal with that. Random man on the Vegas Strip told me that. Okay, that's when you know. So I also asked his friend, I'm like, do you think I did anything wrong? He was like, no, like, I'm on your side. And I asked his friend as we were leaving the nightclub. So we get back to the link, right? And I have this thing called the Prosecco peas. So when I drink Prosecco, I tend to have to pee pretty fucking badly. Okay, I tend to really have to pee. So it's called the Prosecco peas. And this usually happens when I have at least 3 glasses of Prosecco, which I had that night. So I start beelining it towards the bathroom because he's walking 10 miles ahead of me. I don't think he really gives a fuck. So I'm like, whatever. So I start walking towards the bathroom. This man chases me down, and cuts me off as I'm walking to the bathroom. And I'm like, what? He's like, where are you going? I'm like, to the bathroom? He's like, oh, okay, I'll wait for you out here. Great. So I go to the bathroom and I look at myself in the bathroom mirror because I just knew when I went out there that there was going to be some type of an argument or something. I could just tell by like his tone. And I just look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, here we fucking go. Like, here we go. Like, suit up for war, Allie. You're going to walk out of this bathroom and deal with this angry elf of a man. Like, I just was so angry. I was like, I just wanted to enjoy Loud Luxury. I looked so pretty. I was like, I was just trying to have a good night. Like, really? And I looked at my reflection and I also thought about how when we were out, I was getting complimented by a lot of girls and a lot of guys due to what I was wearing and how I was dressed. And I felt as though that he was jealous of that and jealous of the fact that I was getting attention because I looked good and I looked pretty. And he like couldn't handle that. I think that's really what sparked this entire thing. I truly believe that to this day. So I come out of the bathroom and as I walk out, he immediately starts to argue with me, screaming in my face for a third time. He's this close to my face, screaming at me. And I'm like, here we go. This whole time, mind you, I have not raised my voice. I have not caught an attitude with him. Nothing. I've remained calm this entire time. And this has gone on for now at least an hour and a half, okay? And so I'm trying to walk away from him because I just, again, don't want this argument with him. So I'm trying to walk away from him. And at one point, there was this banner and below there was this like cafe. So it was like a railing. And I am holding on to the railing on one side and he's holding on to the railing on the other. And he's like yelling at me and he get like close to me. So every time he took a step towards me, I took a step away because I was afraid. I was afraid of him because he was screaming in my face. This is a grown man screaming in my face. So at one point I was just like done with his shit, right? I'm like, you're crazy. I want to get away from you. So I look at him and I'm like, I'm just going to go get a water. Like the most monotone voice. I'm just going to go get a water. Still screaming at me. I'm going to go get a water. I didn't even bother repeating myself a third time. I just walk away to go get the water that I said I was going to go get. As I'm walking away, this man is following me, screaming in my face as I'm walking. I go up to get the water and I go to hit my Apple Pay. So I go like this He puts his whole body in front of me and pays with his Apple Pay. I'm like, thanks, I guess. Is this my prize for you screaming at me for almost 2 hours? I get a water. Wow. Wow. Didn't realize it was that big of a prize. Wow. So I get my water, and now I feel like my chest is getting kind of tight, right? I'm jet lagged, I'm sleep deprived, I have a grown man screaming at me, I'm tired, and he's just like screaming at me, screaming. It's like a pit bull, like rah, 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 rah. I'm like, you have issues, like you have more issues than Vogue vibes. So I feel my chest getting tight, and I'm starting to feel like I'm gonna have a panic attack, and I haven't had a panic attack in years. I'm just trying to like walk away from him as fast as I can in giant ass heels. So I'm trying to like walk away from him. And at one point, he grabs my thigh, like very hard. And this is when I went off. Like the whole time I haven't yelled, nothing. I start screaming at him. And I want to be really clear. I screamed at this man out of fear. Because now you're putting your hands on me, okay? It's one thing, it's horrible obviously to have someone scream in your face and be that aggressive towards you. But now that you've put your hands on me, you've put it up a level, right? You've upped it a notch. And you know what? Now I'm gonna start screaming because I'm scared. I go, get the F away from me. You're effing crazy. I don't want anything to effing do with you. You're fucking crazy. Like I'm screaming at this man. Okay, now all of a sudden people in the casino are turning around and look at me. What, no one wanted to help me for the, I don't know, 45 minutes that he was screaming in my face? No one thought to come help me then, but now that I'm yelling, people care? Please. So then I'm just like screaming at him, and I'm just like going crazy because I'm like, I don't want this man touching me again. Like that to me was just like, I was so afraid. I can't even tell you how I was afraid. It was all by myself. So no one tried to intervene or help me. I just like wanted to go to sleep. Like I basically was like, you ruined that luxury for me. Like you suck. So at one point, he decides to go back to the room. I'm like, thank God. And I'm in the lobby by myself, and he's so drunk that he texts me the room number by like you know how like you dial in a number on your phone? That's how he texted me the room number, but it was in a screenshot. That's how I knew what room we were staying in. He literally sent it to me as a screenshot. Like I'll show you. It was actually absurd. Like this is how I knew what, you know, room we were in because of that. That's what he sent me. So he goes back to the room, and I'm in the lobby, and I just like waited a few minutes, and then I went back to the room. And I walk in, and we're like two separate beds. And he like turns and looks at me as in his bed. I don't even give him the time of day. I was like, you know what? I'm just like so upset. Like, how do I salvage this night? I go in the bathroom and I start taking TikToks because I'm like, you know what? I look good. Like, I'm going to try to salvage this. I start taking TikToks of myself, okay? In the bathroom. This might be the funniest shit I've done in a while. Like, could you imagine, like, you have a grown man scream at you for 2 hours, and like, you go back to the room and you're like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna take some TikToks of myself. Fuck it. I'm gonna take my TikToks. So I do that. I take like the TikToks of myself. I'm just trying to make myself feel better. And then at one point, I opened the door because I was gonna take this one TikTok outside in the hallway, and he goes, "Where are you going?" I was like, I was gonna go take a TikTok in the hallway. Like, he almost like didn't want me going back to the nightclub, like, weirdo. So I didn't even like work out the TikTok in the hallway. Like, I needed kind of like a stand to put my phone on, and I didn't have it with me. So yeah, I was like a tripod, but I didn't have my tripod with me. So I was like, all right, whatever. So I wind up going to bed. I'm taking off all my makeup. I was really upset that the night didn't go the way I wanted it to. Even though I didn't start the argument and I didn't antagonize him in any way, shape, or form, I just am not the type of person that really likes to argue with people. When I go out and have a night out, I like to have fun. I don't like it to be some argument, some crazy drama. That's not how I really live my life, and all my friends could vouch for me on that because every time they go out with me, it's a good time. So I go to bed, okay? And I wake up in the middle of the night because I had to go pee, all right? This is where stuff gets funny. So I wake up in the middle of the night, I had to go pee, and I go into the bathroom, and there's skid marks on the toilet. Like, inside the toilet below the water, there's skid marks, a bunch of them. I'm like, ew. So you mean to tell me this man was screaming at me all night and then shit himself? Like, okay, you're the Staten Island Shitter now. That's your new nickname. You are the Staten Island Shitter, okay? That's who you are. So he literally shit himself. I'm like, this is fucking disgusting. I go to pee, I go back to bed, and I wake up the next morning. It was around like 8 or 9 in the morning. And I go to the bathroom and I open the door and he's in there taking a shit. Disgusting. I literally like slam the door closed. I'm like, ew, 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 ew. Gross. I've seen what I needed to see. Like, I don't need to see all that. I do not need to see all that. So finally, he comes out from the bathroom. I'm sitting on the bed and I go, what's up, Rocky Road? And he looks at me and he's like, what? Like, tries to play stupid. He goes, what? I go, yeah, I saw those skid marks in the toilet last night. Yeah, I saw those. Yeah. I was like, so what happened to them? Because they're gone now. Because I went in there after and they were gone. And he goes, oh, well, I wiped them off with a hotel towel. Ugh. You mean to tell me that you took a hotel towel and wiped the skid marks off from inside the toilet? That is the most disgusting shit ever. Literally, the most disgusting shit I've ever heard. You have to be kidding me. I was gagged. There's very few times that Ally Langan is speechless. This was one of those times. Like, I genuinely did not know what to say. Disgusting. Disgusting. Like, oh my God, he's such a disgusting individual. So at this point, right, I'm like, you know what? You are the Staten Island Shitter. I saw skid marks in the fucking toilet. I'm fucking disgusted. You ruined Loud Luxury for me last night because you had a toddler tantrum. I'm like, please, for the love of Christ, do not ruin Dom Dollar for me today, because that would be my last straw. If he ruined Dom Dollar for me, I think I would have really crashed out. So I'm like, all right, what am I going to do here? So I pat the edge of the bed and I go to him. I go, listen, I'm not mad at you. That can never happen again. I don't like arguing and yelling at people in public. I think it's ghetto. We could have had a discussion a different time, and it's not really my vibe. I go, it just doesn't really sit well with me. And he goes, I know, I'm really sorry. I totally started the whole argument with you. You were trying to diffuse it, and I just kept arguing with you. And I told him, I was like, and you are never to put your hands on me ever again. Ever again. Like, I was adamant on that. And he's like, well, you were walking away from me. I go, I don't care. I don't care that I was walking away from you. I don't give a fuck if I was doing handstands and backflipping away from you in the goddamn lobby. Okay, I don't care if I was like literally skipping away from you. I don't care if I was walking backwards away from you. You have no right to put your hands on me ever. Ever, 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 ever. Okay? Ever. So finally he's like, well, you know, you're right. I shouldn't have put my hands on you. Wow. I'm so glad you finally came to that conclusion. Okay. So he's like, well, what do you want to do today? And I'm like, well, we plan to go to Dom Dalla, so we should probably go to Dom Dalla. So we get ready for Dom Dalla. Mind you, it's like 95 degrees out, right? It's hot as shit in Vegas. I put on a ton of sunscreen. I'm like, listen, I'm not trying to look like a leather bag that was left out in the sun 5 years from now. Like, I put on sunscreen all over my face. I brought it with me too. And for me personally, when it's super hot like that, I don't really enjoy drinking. Well, I'm gonna grab some water. My little back bend. I don't really enjoy drinking. So I decide that for the day, I'm just gonna have like one drink. So I had like a vodka soda and he had like 2 Red Bull vodkas. So I'm like, okay, it was a normal fine day. There wasn't really like any craziness that ensued. So after we got back from Dom Dalla, we just took a shower. There was like no drama, took some naps, and then we went to In-N-Out. So we went to In-N-Out Burger. It was like a pretty chill night. Our flight was actually, I think like 3 a.m. the next day, so we didn't really want to go out or do anything too crazy. So we all go to the airport. We actually went to a diner in the airport. We ate at the diner, everything was fine, and there were really like no issues that went on. So we fly home, and remember, my car is at his apartment in Staten Island. So when we flew home, the girl that his friend brought, she got an Uber home from the airport, and I had to be in the Uber with him and his friend. So it's me, the Staten Island Shitter, and his friend. So the three of us Uber back to his house to get my car. And the Uber ride was kind of awkward. I get it, we were all tired, but I could kind of tell the two of them were like texting each other, probably talking shit about me. I don't really care, because at the end of the day, he is the Staten Island Shitter in my book. So I don't really care. I'm like, whatever. And he had told me also, this is right before we went on the trip, that for his sister's birthday dinner, that they actually didn't have enough seats at the birthday dinner, so that I wouldn't be coming. So I find that kind of ironic, how his sister removed me as a follower on Instagram. He told me it was for a mental health break, and then he told me that there weren't enough seats at his sister's birthday dinner. I smell bullshit. Whatever, fine, you're a Staten Island Shitter. He knows bullshit like anybody else. So we get back, and I get my car, and he was being really weird, because I was like, oh, I'm gonna go get my keys, because they were in his apartment. He's like, no, I can go get your keys for you. I'm like, no, I'm a grown woman, like, I can go into your apartment and get my keys. So we get my keys. He gets my suitcase out of my car, kisses me goodbye. I get in my car, and I notice when I was leaving his house that there's a white car with hazards on. I'm like, that's kind of weird. This car tries to block me off twice when I'm driving away. They literally move their car in front of me twice. I'm like, what the fuck can this person move? I was in a rush to get to Green Rock to meet my friends for the first football Sunday, so I didn't really think too much of it at the time of why this white car was blocking me off twice. But looking back now, that kind of was very suspicious. And the fact that he was rushing me and trying to get me out of his apartment as quick as possible, I wonder who that person was. But if they're out there watching this, feel free to contact me. But yeah, that was pretty weird. So yeah. So I get back. I have a great time at Green Rock. He also was trying to convince me. He's like, oh, you don't need to go to Green Rock. You should probably just go home and rest. You should go home and rest. A very controlling individual. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. I'm a grown woman. If I want to go to Green Rock with my friends, I'm going to do that. He was just like trying to control me. Be like, oh, don't go out, don't do this. I'm living my life. Like, I have my own life. I have my own friends. Like, I'm not taking orders from you. Like, that's not happening. So I literally get back to my apartment. I throw down my suitcase. I'm like, shit, I gotta get ready. Change in like 5 seconds. Go to Green Rock and see my friends. They all like hug me. I'm so excited to see them. I'm like, I need a drink after this trip. That trip was way too much. So I texted him, because I was supposed to go to his sister's birthday dinner, like I mentioned before, the day we got back from Vegas. And he thumbs up my text and didn't answer. And I was like, that's weird. So the text I sent, I said, please tell your sister that I wish her a happy birthday and have a good dinner with your family, with a white heart. Which again, I didn't need to send anything to him, given how horribly he treated me in Vegas. But I think that goes to show my character and exactly who I am as a person, and that I'm a kind person and a nice person, and I still have manners. He has no manners, clearly. So he thumbs up my message, whatever, I don't even care. I'm like out with my friends, I could care less. So yeah, I thought that was weird. And him just like doing a thumbs up, I thought that was like kind of strange. And I had sent that text at like 10 p.m. because I was like after I got back with my friends. So this is a good one. So the next day I go to dog walking, right? And I have Boston Terriers, as most of you know, and the favorite dog that I walk, one of my favorites, is a Boston. So I go to dog walking, and Edgar Allan Poe, aka the Staten Island Shitter, sends me this super novel long text, okay? He clearly didn't use ChatGPT, because the grammar mistakes in here alone were enough to give me a brain aneurysm. Like, the grammar mistakes, like, I could have actually had a brain aneurysm from reading this, okay? That and the spelling mistakes were obscene. So here we go. He goes, hey, comma, I was gonna call you, but I was jammed up as I just finished up lunch with my uncle. We were discussing some things for the event tonight, and he had brought it up to me how he would like to bring me on full-time and be a part of his team and work alongside him. With this means I'm definitely going to have to move to Miami, where the head office is, and will have to relocate within the upcoming days. and he's gonna help me coordinate my moving, and all that working alongside of him entails traveling around the world, meeting with different clients, hosting different events, and working overseas. And this is something that I've always had an interest in working with. This being said, I don't feel it will be fair to you to continue to develop feelings and a deeper emotional connection between you and I when I'm not going to be able to give you the attention and the time that you deserve. I also would never ask you to pick up and move around the world with me while I take on this next step in my career. I understand how you are with New Jersey, and this is your family and friend. Or would never want to make you feel like you have to pick or choose. I know how you have expressed what New Jersey means to you. I really do like you, and I still care for you deeply, and this is what the hard part is. I felt a text would be easier so nothing would confuse in translation over the phone. I hope and pray you continue to crush it and continue to grow your brand. I will always be rooting for you on the sidelines. I know you do great things in life with a white heart. I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were Christopher fucking Columbus. My bad. I thought he died like a really long time ago, but seems like he was resurrected right here. I didn't realize you were Christopher Columbus. Weird. And I know he said that on purpose because he had mentioned a month prior to me that he was considering moving to Miami, and I said I would never do that because I'm based in New Jersey with everything I do. So again, I felt like the guy in this because he sent me that whole paragraph, and here's what I answer. I go, I think at the very least, I deserve the respect of a phone call. I'll be at dog sitting from 1 to 4 today, and we'll be around later if you'd like to discuss. Then he proceeds to send me another long novel. Okay, Edgar Allan Poe. This is what he sends. I apologize, Allie. I didn't want to just send it to in a text. That's how I know he didn't use ChatGPT. But it's the best way so nothing is lost in translation. And as you know, unfortunately, I'm going to be extremely jammed up today with the event and work that I currently have going on today. And then tomorrow, I'm leaving at 4:30 in the morning to get to a meeting in Charlotte. I really do like you, and I enjoy spending my time with you. But having an opportunity that's a once-in-a-lifetime presented to me is something I'm not passionate about. I think you're a fantastic girl and a phenomenal person. I wish you all the best. Whatever thing, like I said, I hope you continue to crush it and continue to grow your brand, and will always be rooting for you on the sidelines. Once again, I'm sorry that this is over a text. Unfortunately, I'm extremely jammed up, and I would owe you a lot more than a brushing you off the phone call. So I think we can all agree that he didn't use ChatGPT because that is some of the worst spelling and grammar I have ever seen in my life. In my 27 years of circling the sun, that is the worst spelling and grammar I have ever seen, ever. So obviously, I didn't answer that other really long text from Edgar Allan Poe, aka the Staten Island Shitter, because I didn't have anything to say to that. 1, I know you're lying. 2, if you're watching this, you're still a loser. And 3, if you really think I was going to buy that for a second, you clearly do not know how intelligent I am. Okay? So, I got those texts. He thinks he ruined my life. No, babe. Not even close. But thank you so much because I wouldn't have this story to tell, and I'm sure some people are going to laugh about this. So, I, at this point, am like, well, what else is he lying about, right? Because when there's one lie, there's usually 20. That's a saying I use. There's usually 20. So, I decide to DM his ex-fiance. Oh yeah. Have you met me? I'm Ally Langan. It's so nice to meet you. Yeah, I DM his ex-fiance. And I go, listen. I go, seems like we both dodged a bullet. I'll actually read it to you guys, what I said. I'll read you the DMs verbatim because that's what this podcast is all about, right? Being honest. And I don't have anything to hide. So let's read them. Here's my DM to her. This is September 10th. Hey, I'm not really sure what to believe at this point, but Staten Island Shitter has been hitting me up. I just came back from Vegas with him. He definitely has some unresolved issues. Not sure what your real status is with him. He had told me that you were engaged and that it was over a long time ago. Between you and me, I think we both dodged a bullet. She responds, hi, I appreciate you reaching out and checking. I called off our engagement / we broke up in the beginning of June this year. So they broke up in June of 2025 and she called off the engagement. It was not mutual. So he lied about that. And he lied about the timeline. I go, thank you. Yeah, I'm no longer talking to him because of how he behaves. He also told me it was a mutual thing that you guys called things off and told me that you guys were only engaged for a few months. He also told me that his mom hated you and I'm genuinely so sorry that you had to deal with him. And I go, have you spoken to him since? She goes, that's inaccurate. I'm so sorry for whatever you dealt with too. I appreciate you reaching out so much and you seem so nice, but I just don't feel comfortable sharing details regarding that. I haven't spoken to him since. And I go, hey, I don't want to open any old wounds. I'm sure it was hard enough. I totally get it. I was pretty shocked too, but glad I got out when I did. If you ever need someone to talk about it with, someone who gets it, I'm here. And she hearted my message. She seems like a very nice girl, and if she's watching this, I have no animosity towards her at all. I think she's a very nice person. So I found out, because it's literally right on Facebook, that they had been engaged for a year. They had been engaged for a full year. So they got engaged, I believe it was July of 2024, and the engagement was broken off by her in June of 2025. So that's pretty much almost an entire year. And she broke it off, not him. So I thought that was pretty fucking crazy. So to give you an idea, she broke off the engagement in June of 2025, right? He DM'd me in August of 2025. Do you know how fucking crazy you have to be to break off an engagement with your girlfriend / fiance of 3 years and then hit up another girl 2 months later? Do you know how fucking mentally deranged you have to be to do that? Yeah, I just don't even have the words for that one, but you need to seriously seek some help if you're watching this. Like, for real, Staten Island Shitter, get it together. So I honestly feel like I dodged a bazooka. And the fact that I've known him since I've been 12 years old and that he did this to me, he will do it to any other girl too, okay? So I also came to find out that everything he did with me was not original. So he took, I found out his other exes and the ex-fiance to Vegas, St. Thomas, the Brooklyn pizza spot we went to, Chrome Hearts in Vegas, Cartier, the Plaza, which he also had planned for me and him to go to the Plaza for my birthday, and he canceled the reservation the day everything went down. He sent me that long crazy text. He canceled the reservation for my birthday. So he tried to ruin my birthday. So if you're watching this, fuck you. You didn't ruin my birthday. I went with my family instead. He took me to the Pew Pew Range, and he also took me to In-N-Out. So everything he did with the ex-fiance, he did with me. So he was just trying to like override his memories, I guess. I don't know what he was trying to do, but he failed miserably. So yeah, he didn't ruin my birthday. And I take personal offense with people who try to ruin my birthday. Yeah, and he also told me that his mom hated the ex-fiance. There's literally a picture of them embracing on Facebook. You guys can go look it up on your own. It's right there. Yeah, so I know that I told you guys that when we were walking into the club and he got stamped. So we got stamped on the inside of our wrists. And I noticed on his left wrist, he was kind of like staring at it a little bit. He's like, wow, the ink, it absorbs right into my tattoo. So me being an FBI agent, I actually put 2 and 2 together of why he was staring at it like that. He had told me, because he had a black heart on the inside of this wrist. So right here, he had a black heart. And he told me that he had gotten that because he wears his heart in his sleeve. That's not why he got that tattoo. He had a tattoo of his ex-fiance's first initial on the inside of his left wrist. And this is like recorded and well known. And he got that covered up with a big black heart. So he had her initial and then had it covered up with a big black heart. So when we were walking into the nightclub and he was staring at the stamp, he was actually looking at the old tattoo that he got of his ex-fiance's initial. And at the time he actually got her initial, they had only been dating for like, I think 2 months. So that again speaks to how mentally deranged he is. Yeah, so he got that tattoo, I think in 2022 when they first started dating. This is all like public information. It was actually quite easy to find once I started digging. He also told me to my face, he was like, I really want to get a tattoo of your eyes. I really love your eyes. I'd love to get a tattoo of your eyes. So it kind of seems like he's like operating off a pattern. So he got a tattoo of her initial right away and then wanted to get a tattoo of my eyes almost immediately. It seems like the mental derangedness, that's just like what he does. Staten Island Shitter for you. So it seems like it's a pattern. Yeah, he also wanted to take me to the Amex Club. He told me that he forgot his card, and that we could have gone to the Amex Club. He did that with his ex-fiance. He also wanted to take me on the Lady Lindsay for the Sunset Cruise. Of course, I'm familiar. My family used to do that every single year at the Ritz-Carlton. He did that with his ex-fiance too. Yeah, so he could have probably gotten that little initial lasered off for a lot less than whatever he paid for the cover-up, and the cover-up was really ugly. He probably should have just left it alone. So if you think the lore stops here, no it doesn't. We're just getting started. So I saw that he got posted in the Are We Dating the Same Guy Facebook group. So I'm a member of the New York City one and a member of the Hoboken and the Jersey City one. And the comments on it were quite interesting. So the comments said, run for the hills as fast as you can. And this was anonymous. So someone commented, run for the hills as fast as you can. And this is anonymously commented, so I don't know who'd said it. I have no idea. And they commented something else along the lines that he was a narcissist, that he was diagnosed as a narcissist, and that he was abusive and a cheater. And this person also said that he was the scariest person that they've ever encountered, and swear that their family could see the devil in his eyes. Again, this is all anonymous. I have no idea who said this. And to this day, again, I have no idea who said it. So then I also heard from the grapevine, because obviously I told people about this, and I was like, does anyone know this crazy person? And I had some people reach out to me because I had made a TikTok series on the Staten Island Shitter, that apparently he also shit his pants in DJs. Yeah. So it seems to be a common theme. So he shit his pants in DJs. So he's now nicknamed the Staten Island Shitter. So I upgraded him from Staten Island Man to the Staten Island Shitter. You see how I did that? I just love upgrading people like that. If he's watching this, you're welcome. You have a really original nickname. So all in all, what are my takeaways from this situation? He's a pathological liar. He's crazy. He's a Staten Island Shitter forever. I'm really happy I got out when I did. He clearly has more issues than Vogue, which I said. This might be an unpopular opinion, but it's my opinion and I agree. I believe he must be DL. I'm not even just saying this. I really think he's DL. Because if you're going to go and treat every woman like that so awful, you have to be in love with men. Your true soulmate must be a man. It really must be a man. You must be DL. To treat women like that so terribly, you must like men. That's all I can really take away from this, is that you're a pathological liar and you must be into men. I really hope that you find the man of your dreams and you go on that Lady Lindsay sunset cruise and you two ride off into the sunset together. I really hope you do that. You definitely are DL. You have to be. So I hope you go on that Lady Lindsay cruise, like I said, with the man of your dreams and you guys sail off into the sunset together. I really hope that happens for you. Overall, happy I got out when I did. I really appreciated the support of my family and friends during this time. And I'm glad I get to share it with you guys. So beware of the Staten Island Shitter. But you know, catch us next Sunday at 11 a.m. for your pure madness, unhinged exes, career curveballs, and a host of stories so wild that I'll outdo any service nightmare that you've ever had. Alrighty, bye guys.